Justin Fields had himself a day in the Bears joint practice with the Indianapolis Colts. Bears just wrapped up practice about an hour ago, so I tried to pump this video out as quick as possible. Fields was looking absolutely sharp with his deep ball in one-on-ones. Then in 7-on-7s, he ended up starting out 6 for 6, and in 11-on-11s, there were some ups and downs, some bumps and bruises, but for the most part, the Bears offense looked sharp. Justin Fields had plenty of chunk plays, and there's a lot to talk about. So first, I want to go over some injury updates. The Bears injury list is getting shorter. Nate Davis is back in pads. Finally, we've been talking about it for weeks. He's finally back practicing. He was rotating in and out, so the Bears are ramping him back up. Also, DeMarcus Walker is back in pads and practicing as well, and Bears' new acquisition, Michael Walker, was in pads participating. The guys who are out was Jaquan Brisker, Chase Claypool, Lucas Patrick, Tremaine Edmonds, Josh Blackwell, and Treston Ebner. So the injury list got smaller. That's great news. As far as the Indianapolis Colts, they were missing DeForest Buckner, and they also missed Ryan Kelly, their starting center, and another one of their linemen ended up getting hurt during practice. So the Bears don't get to face against a star defensive tackle to truly test the inside of the offensive line. However, the Bears O-line did look pretty decent in today's practice. Like I said, Justin Fields started off pretty hot with one-on-ones with the deep ball, hitting Darnell Mooney, Equanimeous St. Brown multiple times, Darius Fountain, DJ Moore multiple times, including this sick one-handed catch that we got video of, and we got video of Darnell Mooney on a deep diving catch from Fields, and another deep ball from Justin Fields to Simba Webster. So lots of nice things from one-on-ones. Then the teams moved into 11-on-11s, and Justin Fields looked sharp once again. He ended up overthrowing DJ Moore on one of the early plays, but he hit DJ Moore the very next play on a quick out. Khalil Herbert had a pair of good runs. The linemen are pulling. They're looking pretty sharp out in open space once again. Then the teams moved into 7-on-7s, and Justin Fields went 6 for 6, hitting Darnell Mooney on the right side on a check down, Robert Tonyan across the middle as his third read, so Fields was going through his reads, good to hear. Dante Pettis with a curl route, Equanimeous St. Brown on a slant, then a quick out to Cole Kmet. So Justin Fields was out there dicing up the Colts defense in 7-on-7s. Then moving on to 11-on-11s, there was a huge 40-yard run from Deontay Foreman at one point. Khalil Herbert had a nice 10-yard run. Justin Fields ended up scrambling at some point today, so the run game was looking pretty decent, and once again, the offensive line was blocking today, and that's just great to hear. Again, Colts didn't have DeForest Buckner, their star defensive tackle. Take that with a grain of salt. However, the Bears got to play whoever's in front of them, and the people who were in front of them, the Bears offensive line, handled business in today's practice. Justin Fields at one point did throw a high ball to Equanimeous St. Brown. It bounced off of his fingers and was intercepted. And then another play later in practice, Justin Fields tried to throw a deep ball to Mooney, who was wide open, but Justin Fields got hit by a Colts defensive lineman, and Fields ended up throwing the ball short due to the hit, and it was intercepted. So he had 2 interceptions, but the second one goes on the stat. Well, if it was a game, it'd go on the stat sheet against Fields, but it was more of a great play by the defensive lineman to hit the quarterback and affect the throw. So those were the 2 biggest glaring mistakes from the Bears offense, but Justin Fields bounced right back because he came right on down, threw a monster deep pass to DJ Moore across the middle of the field, and immediately hit Velus Jones the very next play on another deep ball, and he ended up scrambling for like 10 yards. So even when Justin Fields got knocked down, he jumped right back up and got right back to work. Another part of that last drive, Fields ended up getting knocked to the ground, and a kind of scuffle broke out. Tevin Jenkins was staring down the defensive lineman, so the team started to get chippy about Justin Fields because that's your quarterback. You got to defend your quarterback. So it's good to hear that the Bears offense ain't letting that fly, but bad to hear that Fields is ending up on the ground in a practice. But nonetheless, Fields was looking sharp, minus the 2 interceptions. Again, you can't really fault him for getting hit on the second one, but the first one was a little bit of a high ball. But overall, Fields looked great today. Bears running back Deontay Foreman ended up ripping off a 40-yard run. He had a good practice today, and that's kind of ironic because rookie running back Roschon Johnson is breathing down his neck, trying to fight his way up the depth chart. So the Bears running back room is looking great. They have a three-headed monster coming into the season. Khalil Herbert with multiple great run plays as well, and Roschon Johnson had some pretty good plays. He was getting some burn with the ones and the twos, rotating back and forth, so it's good to hear that Roschon is doing good as well. Overall, the Bears' run game is looking solid. The offensive line is handling what they gotta handle. The backup offense, it was pretty rough. PJ Walker threw 2 interceptions. They were bad interceptions. They weren't like Fields where they were tipped or he was hit. Like, no, PJ Walker is not having a good camp whatsoever. He did end up throwing 2 touchdowns. One was a deep ball to Velus Jones. So Velus Jones had a pretty good showing today as well. But the second touchdown was to Robert Tonyan from PJ Walker. So PJ had a pretty ugly start of practice and then finished it pretty strong with a pair of touchdowns. Like I said, he threw the interception during preseason, so very up and down from PJ Walker. Now flipping over to the defensive side of the ball for the Bears defense struggled today against the Colts. They did have some highlights. Eddie Jackson did intercept rookie quarterback Anthony Richardson. He had a great interception. Anthony Richardson hit Josh Downs for like 2 or 3 plays in a row, tried to hit him again, threw it a little too high, and Eddie Jackson picked it off, and some reporters said he ended up scoring on it. I'm not really sure if he scored or not, but nonetheless, Eddie got his hands on the ball. Then Eddie had a huge hit on Michael Pittman late in the 2-minute drill towards the end of practice and forced an incompletion. Tyrique Stevenson was very chippy today. He had a pretty big crack block on special teams that got the team riled up, and then he had another nice hit that caused a scuffle on defense during team drills. So things definitely got chippy today. No super huge fights that I know of, but things definitely got chippy on both sides, but mostly the defense, because the Bears defense likes to hoot and holler. At one point when Tyrique Stevenson had the big hit on special teams, the reporter said that you could hear the defense yelling from the other side of the field. So the defense is bringing that energy. However, like I mentioned, they definitely did struggle today because Anthony Richardson picked them apart with underneath stuff, including wide receiver Michael Pittman and Josh Downs. They definitely showed out against the Bears defense today. And at some point during practice, Anthony Richardson in the 4-minute drills went 5 for 5, driving all the way down the field on the Bears defense. So definitely not the best showing for the Bears secondary. The defensive line did a decent job at getting pressure from what I heard, but overall, Colts offense kind of beat the defense today. But at least the defense finished strong. They did a 2-minute drill at the end of practice, and the Bears defense beat the Colts offense, stalling them out for 0 points. But on the contrary, the Bears offense also ran a 2-minute drill, and the Colts defense stopped them. So both the defenses won at the end of the 2-minute drills. But overall in today's practice, both the Colts offense and the Bears offense kicked the Colts defense and the Bears defense butts today. So offense won today for both sides. Both teams. Great practice for both teams all around. I like that I heard great things from the Bears offensive line. Again, minus the 2 interceptions, whatever happened there, Justin Fields looked sharp for the most part. DJ Moore continues to look like a superstar wide receiver. Darnell Mooney getting involved. Velus Jones had a pretty good showing today. Got a nice video clip of Darnell Wright getting out in the open space blocking. So definitely a lot of nice things that we heard from the Bears offense today, and hopefully that continues into tomorrow and into Saturday's preseason game. But a little worrisome on the defensive side of the ball. I will give this disclaimer though. The Colts ran a lot of underneath stuff, and they were picking on the rookie Tyrique Stevenson. So what I have to say about that is that the Bears defense is a Tampa 2. It's the 4-3. Basically, they cover everything over top, but they allow underneath things. It's just the weakness in the defense. The Colts did a great job exploiting the weakness of the Bears defense. And on the contrary, Justin Fields hit a lot of checkdowns as well. well against the Colts, and the Colts have the exact same defense. And once again, that's the weakness of the defense, is the short game. It's the bend don't break theory. It's the allow things underneath but don't allow things deep, and then once you get into the red zone you tighten up and play a lot harder, and it's a lot harder to beat that defense in the red zone. So that's just the defense that the teams run, and it showed out today, and both offenses exploited that. Mostly during camp, the Bears have not been game planning for their own defense, but I'm sure for today they game planned against the Colts defense a little bit as well, because you're not going to go into a joint practice running scripted plays without even considering what the other team is going to run. So, I mean, you know, it comes with the joint practices, it comes with the territory of understanding the other team so well, especially with Matt Eberflus coming from the Colts, and both the defensive schemes the exact same. So that's about it from today's joint practice with the Bears versus Colts in Indianapolis. The Bears will remain there and have a second joint practice tomorrow, followed by a walkthrough day on Friday, and on Saturday at 7 o'clock Eastern time, the Bears face off with the Colts for their second preseason game. Again, I tried to get this video out as quick as possible, as this practice was very late in the evening and they went 2 hours long, so it was a very long practice. So if you enjoyed the updates I'm bringing you, feel free to subscribe, drop a like, drop a comment, let me know how you guys are feeling. I'll be bringing a second update tomorrow night after the second joint practice, and I have been covering everything in camp all the way up to this point, including the previous preseason game and breaking down some film as well. So feel free to click on one of those videos and I'll see you guys there.